This quantitative study will look at the question, how does the use of calculators in routine problem solving impact student achievement in middle school mathematics classroom assessments? 200 middle school students in the South Florida area will participate in this study. The participants will take a 10-question test and be divided randomly into groups that can use calculators and those that cannot. An analysis of variance will be used to compare the means. Based on the literature reviews, it is anticipated that the calculator group will have higher scores than the non-calculator group. The study will then explore the feelings of 5 participants to determine their feelings about calculator use. The study may reveal issues related to anxiety. Over the years, there has been a shift in thinking regarding the use of calculators in the classroom. Years ago, the state standardized test in Florida allowed calculator use in all middle school grades, but later removed that option. In contrast, the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics research shows that the use of calculators can enhance student learning. Is there a difference in achievement when a calculator is used? Does the calculator impact a student's level of achievement in the classroom? Students who are anxious about mathematics feel calmer and more confident when taking a test with a calculator, although the final grade may not always reflect that confidence. In South Florida, students are not allowed to use calculators until 7th grade, and the textbook is designed to accommodate computations without a calculator. Students in more advanced courses in 6th grade that cover 7th and 8th grade curriculum are still not using calculators in the classroom. This study is important because educators enter the field with their own feelings on calculator use, and that is translated into the classroom. The results of this study could impact curriculum guides, textbook instruction, and teacher in-service trainings. Teachers who are not comfortable with calculators will not use them in the classroom. The proposed quantitative study will explore the impact of calculator use on student success in the classroom. The scores for students using calculators will be compared to students that did not. In addition, the proposed qualitative study will explore students' feelings about using a calculator. Multiple studies conclude that calculator use in the classroom is beneficial to student growth. One study specifically showed that students with disabilities showed a significant level of improvement in classroom grades when given a calculator. The research also shows that teachers that are not comfortable using calculators will not implement them into their lessons, and there are some instructors that disagree with any technology being used in a mathematics classroom at all. For the quantitative study, the research question is, how does the use of calculators in routine problem solving impact student achievement in middle school mathematics classroom assessments? The participants in this quantitative study will be middle school students in South Florida. The study will include students performing on all achievement levels in grade 7. The students will randomly be placed in the control group or the calculator group. There will be 600 students that will be invited to participate in the study in one middle school in the South Florida area. 200 students will be randomly selected from those that return the proper consent forms. Procedure. The test will be taken online using Canvas, the online platform used in the South Florida school system. The participants will be invited to 2 different Canvas classes. One will include an embedded calculator for use and the other will not. Students will be given 10 problems to complete and the results will be submitted to the researcher. The participants will not see their scores. The scores will be grouped into calculator provided and calculator not provided. The test will be available during a specified period. The students will be given grade level appropriate material that can be solved with or without a calculator by students taking a course covering the 7th grade material. The setting. All students in the study will be students in the selected middle school. One school will be used, so variables such as demographics and curriculum pacing will not be an issue. The textbook series used in the classroom is the Go Math 7th grade mathematics book. The study will include students taking 7th grade math. 7th grade students in the on-level mathematics course will be the only students included in this study. The test will be given during the regular school day. The students will take a 10-question test. One group will be provided a calculator on the Canvas platform and the other group will not. The students will receive a special course code to enter to participate in the study. The students are given a password and the test must be completed during one login attempt. The results will be delivered electronically to the researcher. The participants will not see the results of their test. The test will have identifiable names so the researcher will know the proper group to place the results in. Data from an analysis of variance will be used to summarize the findings. The ANOVA can be used when comparing the means of two groups. The proposed qualitative study will explore students' feelings about using a calculator. The participants will be drawn from the volunteers from the qualitative study. 5 randomly selected students will be selected to participate in the interview process. The students that volunteer to participate in the interview process will create the sample. 5 students will be randomly selected from that group to share their views on calculator use in the classroom. Since the study is an extension of the first study, all participants will still be members of the same middle school in South Florida. The proposed qualitative study will be asking open-ended interview questions. The questions will be: how do you feel about using a calculator for classwork, homework, and tests? How does your teacher feel about using a calculator? And how does it help or hurt your mathematics work? The results will be compiled to determine how they feel about using calculators. The researcher will look for keywords and phrases to help narrow down recurring themes found in the data. Since the number of students interviewed will be small, the study will give insight, but conclusions may not be able to be drawn at the time of the study. Based on the literature review, in the quantitative study, the calculator group is expected to outperform the non-calculator group. For the qualitative study, based on the literature reviews, math anxiety levels may play a role in attitudes about calculator use. This research study carries many possibilities. In addition to finding out whether a student has greater success with the calculator in the classroom, this research can be extended to how the curriculum guide is written, as well as the pacing guides. Additionally, textbook companies can include lessons on the proper use of a calculator and how it should be used to deepen learning. Finally, how teachers are trained on the use of calculators would be an extension of the study. Calculator use is beneficial only when it is properly used. Teachers that are unfamiliar with the multiple uses of a calculator and are uncomfortable with calculator use will not use them in the most effective manner. This study should follow previous studies on and the position of the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics in showing that calculator use can prove to be very beneficial. A future study can look at anxiety levels for students in mathematics and whether the calculator being available will decrease their anxiety levels when taking tests. The qualitative study may give some insight to that area of study. Some educators feel that calculators interfere with the students' ability to learn the concepts. A future study could also look at the correlation between those feelings and the implementation of calculator use. The anticipated results should show that computational errors will decrease when using the calculator and increase classroom performance.